FlexCube bulk maintenance processing using Datafuze. To explain Datafuze, it is a secure, configurable integration platform for seamless data exchange across multiple business systems. Key use cases of Datafuze implementations are high volume batch data processing that efficiently process and manage large scale file based data operations with reliability and control. Regulatory, statutory, and business reporting that can generate compliant, audit ready reports directly from enterprise data sources. End to end data lineage and traceability that can track, monitor, and report the complete life cycle of data across interconnected systems. Cross data reconciliation to ensure data consistency and accuracy by reconciling records across multiple platforms. Advanced data transformation and format conversion. Seamlessly transform and standardize data across diverse formats and system requirements. Scalable integration for evolving business needs, designed to support expanding data ecosystem and complex enterprise workflows, and much more. Datafuze proof of concept that we are going to see now. This demonstrates the configuration and execution of FlexCube bulk maintenance request using Datafuze integrated with the FCUBS modify customer web service. First will be business end user perspective, where user upload input files to a designated intake endpoint. It can be a shared mounted folder or SFTP location. Datafuze automatically ingests, processes, and routes the resulting success and failure outputs to configure target endpoints. And then user can monitor processing batches in real time and drill down to view detailed transaction level results. Second one is a configuration or an admin perspective that demonstrates how a configuration administrator defines and manages the required integration entities in Datafuze to enable FlexCube bulk maintenance processing, including channels, endpoints, mappings, and data formats. So now over to the demo.
I will walk you through the end-to-end processing flow in Datafuze, starting from the ingestion, transformation, delivery, and monitoring of process data. In this demo, we will cover file upload through SFTP, real-time processing visibility, record level monitoring, response file generation, channel and endpoint configuration, mapping and format setup. Along with this, also we will check on the alerts and environment migration. Let's begin with the input file. So here we have the input Excel file that will be processed by the system. This file contains customer data, operation type, where the modify customer, like, and also with the message ID, user ID, and other customer details. This file follows a predefined structure, and we will place it in the configured SFTP path or shared folder. System continuously monitors the SFTP location. Once a file is placed, and it automatically detects and start processing. This is the path where we will be placing the input file. And here, in the output file, output path, the respective response file will be placed here. Now I will place the file in the input folder. Once the file is dropped, database immediately picks it up and start processing automatically. Now we will look to the data processing screen. This is the database UI. So here we can see file received status, total records count, and the file received timestamp. Once the file is received, Datafuze communicates with the backend web service like our FlexCube, and processing begins instantly. So now you can see file has been processed and processing timestamp has been updated. Next, we drill down into the file details. Here now we have uploaded 6 records. Out of this, 5 has been success and 1 has failed. For each record, we can see the status, response message, and error error code, it failed. We can still drill down and able to see what are the request data which has been sent to the FCUBS API and along with the response which we have received. So we could see the failure and why it has failed. This allows us to correct the data and re-upload it again to modify the customer. Now let's open the response file, success and failure files in the output folder. So now we can see the both success and failure folder, success and failure file. I'll open the success file now. So successfully successfully process the records and along with the response status here as it is a success and along with the description and code what we had have received. And this file shows the failed records along with the error reason why it has failed. These files help operation teams quickly identify failed records and reprocess them if required. To achieve this complete process, we have a set of principles that need to be configured in the Datafuze. So now I will move to the Datafuze admin screen and open the configured channel to achieve this. Each integration flow in the Datafuze runs through a channel. A channel has three main steps where the data comes from the SFTP and it will be transformed through the mapping to validation purposes and the destination where the data is being sent. Here we have configured three inbound and two outbound for independent for success and then failure. Now I will open the inbound. So this is the source where the data comes from the SFTP path Excel. That means the Excel file. So this is the endpoint we have configured. Endpoint where we have configured the endpoint. The transformer where mapping, validation, and transformations happen, like from Excel to table. And the destination where the data is being sent, and whether the data is being sent to any web service, database, or any output file. This channel controls the entire processing pipeline from the ingestion to the response generation. Now let's look into the endpoints configured in this channel. So inbound endpoint will be the FCUBS source where file has been dropped, and in FCUBS target is where the file has been returned as a response, like success and failure responses. And the web service send each record to the backend system and receive response. Like this will be the FCUBS web service for communicating with the FlexCube. And this FCUBS failure export and success export is for fetch the data from a Datafuze and send it to the customer file as a response file. So inbound endpoints read the file from SFTP, detect and starts processing, where web service endpoint will be send record to each backend system and receive response. Outbound endpoint will generate the success file or generate a failure file and drops the file into respective output SFTP folder. This modular endpoint design allows flexible integration with any external system. Also, we have an endpoint for the email notification services. So here we can able to configure the email host along with the username with the two content type to whom we have to send the email. That kind of configurations we can able to do in the endpoint. Now I will open the mapping configuration. Datafuze supports drag and drop mapping, custom expressions, output file naming logic, any data validations. For this demo, we have created three mappings: inbound mapping and success outbound mapping, failure outbound mapping. Now I will open the inbound mapping. In the inbound mapping, we configure how Excel is to be written and where the data to be stored and the transformation logics. Also, it supports date format conversion, conditional logic, concatenation, any field validation. Also, we have generated a unique file reference for each and every file which is coming to the database. We will be maintaining the unique reference for each file. Like prefix, we have maintaining the prefix as FCIP and along with the current date. Also, with the sequence, it will be auto generated, and also we have an option to reset it per day and after with the extension. So here we could see the reference which we have generated, FCIP, current date, along with the sequence with extension. All this can be done without coding using the expression builder, without additional coding. Similarly, we can also achieve the same for the failure and success outbound mappings also. Now we'll be moving to the format definition. So we have configured inbound Excel format, target table, and outbound success and outbound failure formats. Format includes like column structure, data types, mandatory fields, and any length validation. If any mismatch occurs, the file fails at the validation stage before processing the file. Now I have opened the inbound source where how the Excel file will be written, and here it has an number of columns which will defined in the Excel file, and what are the data types and sequence, everything we can able to define here. Along with this, we can also preview and the test files here whether the configuration is correct and are able to read the file successfully or not. The supported data types like string, date, numeric, and decimal. This kind of data types has been supported by the database. Datafuze supports like multiple file types as a delimited, string delimited, Excel, CSV, fixed length, JSON, XML, and Shift empty MX. So now I'll show you the import and export module. If a configuration is done in dev environment or SIT, and we can export the respective channel, endpoint, mapping formats uh, to the higher environments like UAT or production. This avoids manual setup and saves time. Like we can move it to the higher environment without it saves time. Like we can select whichever the channel or format is required and click on export, and then we can directly import those setup on the required environment. To summarize, today we have demonstrated file injection via SFTP, real-time monitoring, record level tracking, response file generation, channel configuration, endpoint setup, along with mapping and transformation, with the format validation, multi-format support, which supports the data views, and environment migration for setup and management. So this complete from the end-to-end database processing demo. Thank you.